And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of All the Mods 10. I'm your host, Mr. Potato, and it has been a little while since the last time I've seen you guys. And to be honest, I did not play a lot on this world, so a lot of the things that I said I was going to get done, I did not do. However, I do plan on working on that stuff offline still and getting that done. But yeah, one thing that I did do was beautify the area a little bit, as well as added a little bit of a hill to, or a little bit more blocks to make this hill a little less flat and help give us a little pathway up into our building. So, I know it doesn't look the best, but just for throwing it all together really quickly, I think this looks pretty cool. I did add some clovers and some of these little flowers, the lupines. So, as you can see, it kind of blends in with the environment. I did add a little bit of coarse dirt and normal dirt, as well as some cobblestones and andesite to help give this a little bit of a textured look. But yeah, now I can say that this area is pretty close to being done. I just need to add the elevator, which will take us all the way down here. And I do plan on changing this area up and adding a bit to it so that we can get into some large scale create, just because there are some things that I'm going to want to do with create. And on top of that, there are pancakes in the game, and I thought that would be pretty fun, so we are going to automate some pancakes. I'm tired of eating cooked mutton. I want some cakes, and we're gonna do that. So that'll be fun for a future episode, just because I have been thinking about what we are going to do after we beat the mod pack, and I am still decorating the place, and I think we'll just automate some random things. It'll be pretty fun. A little sad note is our worker, Adam, well, he was eaten by Rex. Not really. I don't think Rex over here can do any damage to Adam. It's just Adam came over here and fell in the water, and I guess getting bumped by Rexy over here, he ended up underneath a water lily, and I think he drowned. So yeah, looks like Rex got rid of the corpse. He made do with it, which I don't know why he would do that, but look at him. He's hiding in the corner. He knows he did something bad. But that just means we're going to need a new worker. So out here, I'm going to put this little fence down saying we are looking for some employees. So let's get some dye real quick. We'll use red, just because the job is a little dangerous because Rex is out. So we'll put it right here, and we're gonna put looking for a new gardener. Baron, whoops, from Sir Baron Potato. It's potato, but we're using a little bit of a accent. And then we'll give it some red dye, just like that, and then we'll make it glow. So at night, you will be able to see this. I don't know if that really helps or anything, but boom. Let's see what people will come to our land and apply for the job. We did hire somebody else. However, he hasn't given me his name. All I know is that he's really good at working with chickens, and he is here to certify that our chickens will maintain their high quality, as you can see. So if we open the door and we come inside, you can see he's busy at work, ensuring that they always have some feed available. He also made the little water pool so that they can drink from it and maybe play. We do have some water here because this is the little sewer to maintain the health and the safety environment for our chickens. This is a sewer. So That's why they're clean and are highly certified. As you can see, they have a nice little hay bale, and if we come outside, we could actually see a little bit of how the thing works. Not really, just using my imagination to simulate what a little chicken coop would look like that automatically collects eggs. And that would be the chickens in their little nest area, where if they lay eggs, it'll roll down this little slope into the little area that captures the eggs. So I did this. I thought it looked pretty good for our first little build inside the area that's not our mansion. So yeah, nice little chicken coop. As for the build progress, I have changed a few of the things. This was originally flat, however I decided I wanted to copy that structure or that over here, but I did not notice that this was offset by 1 block. So these guys are off by 1, but can't really tell from afar. But I like it. Over here, I was debating whether I should keep this flat or make it a little extended, to which, as you can see, I did extend it just because I do plan on adding the rooms right here, or a couple of them, at least 2. So these are going to be nice and big. And if we come over here to the outside, I don't know if you guys already saw it, but I added some more sword designs on each side, just so there's a little something, just because this side and that side will be completely empty due to the fact that it is right along the wall. So I kind of don't really see the need to add anything. If I do add stuff, it'll just probably be some big glass windows, probably copying the designs from over here, just because I do like this setup a lot. But yeah, more on this later. One of the things that I did want to go over real quick is I did have a question asking about this little outline whenever I'm aiming on a block. As you can see, it is a rainbow color. This is not a mod that is added to the pack for it. It's actually inside the shader settings. So if you go to video settings and you come down here to shader packs, I am using the complementary Unbound with the Euphoria patches. I'm pretty sure any of these guys will have this outline. It's just these are what the ones I am using. So if you come over here to shader pack settings, and then you come to other, and you click on selection outline, right here there will be an outline, and it's usually off. All you have to do is click it a few times and set it to rainbow, and just like that, you're done. And then you click done, and then after a little while, it'll refresh, or however long it takes for you guys, and then you just have to aim around, and as you can see, you have that little outline. Yes, you do need to have shaders on, so if you are not using shaders, I do not know how you could get this outline selector. I'm pretty sure there might actually be a mod for that, but this is how mine is configured. Just wanted to go over that real quick because somebody did ask me down in the comments. Let's see. So today's episode, we are going to go over EvilCraft. This is a decent mod that I've used way back. I can't even remember the last time I used it. Pretty sure it was in a mod pack for 1.7.10. I have not played all mods 9 to a point where I needed it, so I've never really touched it. But in essence, what we need is blood. Blood. And one of the best ways to do that is by making these spiky claws, which, if you take a quick look, super easy to make, super cheap. And you do need to slay a mob, whether it is a passive, neutral, or hostile, to be able to collect the blood. And to be able to collect the blood, you are going to need the little extractor. Where is it? This guy. So you make this guy real quick. Just like that, you will be able to collect blood from anything that can basically drop it. And if you do have some of these blood stains, because you have some high builds with some open floors, and you have a couple wandering villagers, spawn in. I just totally didn't put one of these carpets to force the villagers to spawn on the edge, I would never do that. But, if you did, you should have some of this stuff, so you could just come over here, shift right click, and just like that, you can collect some blood very quickly, very easily. If not, just go around slaying some mobs, and you will be able to fill it up. Just to show you guys that this actually works with normal mobs, and it does fill it up, we'll take a quick gander at this. As you can see, we're at 2400 millibuckets, so I don't like gray sheep. We'll smack them real quick, and we'll hover over. Now we're at 2691, so we'll take care of these guys real quick. And with those 3 guys gone, we managed to raise this up roughly 700 plus units. So if you do have a animal farm that you do not need anymore, well, they'll quickly come in handy. If not, you could always just wait till nighttime and then just go around slaying some mobs, and you'll easily fill this up, which is what I'm going to do. So once I am done, I will be back. Alright, so cool thing that I just noticed is I don't think you do need the spiky claws at all to actually get the blood. All you need is a weapon and one of these syringes, because earlier I just slayed some endermen and it easily filled these guys up. So this one's brand new, I just made it, and we're gonna smack this guy real quick. It should be a 2-shot, and just like that, this is completely full. So I do not know if you do need the spiky claws in your inventory or whatever the case may be, or if it's just completely fine to just have these empty and go out slaying some mobs. Nice little tip for you guys, just because this does not do a lot of damage compared to this guy, which when we tested it can crit up to 4600 plus damage. Alright, I'll head back to base and then I'll be back. Alright guys, and I am back. So, what do we do with these blood extractors? Well, we are going to need to make a couple of things. Some of the things that we are going to need for the Altamont Star, just a little FYI, is this Mace of Destruction and this Piercing Vengeance Focus if you press U on it. As you can see, we do need 2 of them and 1 Mace of Destruction that is completely full. So to be able to make these guys, we are going to need a little something over here. Is it this? No, this guy, the Blood Infuser. So to make the Blood Infuser, if we take a quick look at the recipe, we are going to need one of these cobblestones and this Blood Infusion core, which if we hover over it, as you can see, we need some hardened blood shards, which this is obtainable from these hardened blood blocks, which we can get from the drying basin with some blood. But what we can also do is place it down in the world and let it dry. So if we do a little something like this, oops, and then we just right click, we can place down the blood, and after a little while it should dry up. I am not sure if we can pick it up with Silk Touch, or if we do need to use a flint and steel to actually collect it. So since we do have a bit of blood, let's test this out. Okay, cool. So as long as you do have Silk Touch, you could collect it. I'm not too sure if you could actually mine it normally. I haven't tested it, but since we do have a block, we cannot convert it normally. So if we want some of those shards, we can just toss it up here, and just like that, we got some of them, which is pretty cool. So let me throw some more down, and if we press U on it, we could actually see some of the uses for it. As I was mentioning earlier, there's this Blood Infusion core, which is also going to need a Dark Power gem. I already showed you guys how to get these hardened blood shards. You could also just mine these guys up and you can collect it. However, if you do collect it like this and cook it, you will be able to get more shards. So I do recommend this. Just like that, boom, got some more. and I figured out how we could get one of those powered blood gems from one of these guys that you don't need to infuse. So first things first, we're going to put down some more blood right there. We're going to mine the one in the middle, and we are going to put more blood. Then we toss one of these guys in the center, and just like that. To get one of these guys, it does require 5 buckets, so one of these guys completely filled. Just a little FYI. Then once you have that, then you can do this, and you have your blood infusion core. To which, from there, we can just do something like that, and just like that, we have this blood infuser. So, this blood infuser is going to be the main way we're going to be able to get to craft most of our things. If we take a quick look over here, as you can see, the blood infuser can be used to make this undead sapling, which the tree logs can be turned into blood, and if the saplings can be turned into, or not the saplings, the leaves. Yes, the leaves can be squeezed to make the hardened blood shards, but I don't think we really need that at all after taking a quick look at all this stuff. So, this is basically useless, but yeah, the logs themselves can be squeezed to produce blood, so we will be creating a way to get this undead log. And if we take a quick look, one of the best bets is to use this lumber bee. He will help produce more of this, so that's going to be something we do this episode, making another bee just because they're so useful. It's crazy. All we are going to need is a yellow carpenter bee as well as a green carpenter bee. Breed them together and we'll get this lumber bee. So super easy, because if you click on these guys, all you need to look at is which nest they spawn out of, and I'm pretty sure they spawn out of the same nest. It's just a 50-50 shot of whether you're getting the yellow, green, or like 2 other bees. So I guess that's 25% chance. But yeah, you could do that pretty easily, get those guys done. But the blood infuser, we're gonna need blood to get started, just because this is barely going to be able to do anything for us. There is another method of doing this, and that's using the spikes in a mop farm. That is another way of getting blood, but I don't really care about that. A little FYI on my EvilCraft resources, I did set up a dark bee or dark gem bee a while back, so I do have a ton of dark gems because of it. Not to mention one of the other products that come from putting the combs in the centrifuge is the crushed dark gems. So without even realizing, I do have a ton of materials available to get into this. So a little thing that you're going to need is this vengeance ring, and then if you press U on this guy, you can actually turn them into the vengeance focus, which you are going to need. And then if you press U on it again, you are going to need quite a bit of things needed to make the piercing vengeance focus. Everything here is relatively easy after all. Just go to the end, cook some chorus fruit, boom, ton of that. This, as long as you have the resources, this is very easy to craft. And crystals, as you can see, the only thing we need are gas tiers, which I'm surprised I don't have any right now, but I do have some predictions, so I could always throw that into the loot simulator and produce quite a bit of that, so I'll probably do that in a moment. And then besides that, you are going to need some blood orbs, which if we take a quick look, it's about 10,000 blood that needs to be infused into one of these orbs to get a blood orb. So I will go ahead, make that bee, the lumber bee, set up the little apiary for it, and get some of the resources ready, just so when I am back, we can continue progressing with this mod. So I have went out and made a couple of things, and I found out that you can use this condensed blood to fill the blood infuser, which is pretty awesome if you ask me. just because we are going to need to upgrade our machine capacity, which means to make this guy and keep increasing it so that we can put more blood inside. So to make the first one, we're going to need a couple of things. As you can see, we're going to need a spider eye, one of these bowls of promise, and this iron promise acceptor, which, as you saw, we just throw an iron block through it. And then if we click on this guy, to make this, we are going to need a dusted bowl of promises with some blood. So if we click on that, we're going to need an empty bowl with the crushed gems, which, to get the crushed gems, you can use a mechanical squeezer from Integrated Dynamics. You could use occultism, or if you do have the B set up, you'll automatically get quite a bit of this. And to craft this, we're going to need some dark gems, which means using the infuser to infuse these guys to get some of those, which is better just because through the infuser, we will only be using 250 millibuckets compared to 5 buckets of blood per gem. So as you can tell, it is super convenient to have this guy. So since we only need a few of these, we'll do this. We'll toss 6 up, and as you can see, it does take a little bit of time. Of course, you can make these promise of velocities. This will increase the machine speed by 2. And then you could also add this guy over here, the productivity, which increases the blood efficiency. So you do use a little less blood, but we don't really care about that just because right now we do have a time wand, and then we could just speed it up, and just like that, super quickly, we got everything we need. So we come back over here, we'll do this, just like that, we have an empty bowl, and then we get some of these dusts, and just like that, we have this guy. And then with this, I'm pretty sure we just toss it in here, and relatively quickly, this guy will get done, and boom. We have a tier 0. I'm pretty sure I have tons of spider eyes. Yep, I do. And then for the iron block, we just come over here, make one of these guys real quick, toss it in here, and we'll speed it up once again. We need 10,000. Let's do this. Cool thing that I did learn is if you do go out and you are using these blood extractors to collect blood and you're slaying mobs with an axe or sword, you cannot have them stacked. If you have them stacked, it will not collect blood. But if you do have them separated, they will fill up when you are slaying mobs. So if you find yourself confused, make sure you do that real quick. But for now, we could just do this. And just like that, we have a promise of tenacity 1, and I just grabbed more blood. Genius. Let's do that, and then toss this back in here. Immediately fill it up. If we shift click, just like that, this will fill up with blood very quickly since we have this, and we haven't made the whatchamacallit, the bee yet, but we're about to do that. So if we get a dead bush and we throw it in here, it'll take a little bit of time and it'll infuse to turn into an undead tree. Or sapling, to which we grow up and turns into a tree. Which is pretty cool and very useful, just because we are going to need the wood from it to be able to get some blood. So we come over here, put bone meal. We'll make a little bit more, just in case. And then just like that, just mine it real quick. Boom. As you can see, it does drop more dead bushes, so you could always just craft up more if you are going to be doing that. However, with these undead logs, all we have to do is come over here, toss it in there, and in the morning, we'll speed it up just so that you guys can see how we are collecting some of this wood. So if I shift click on, look at this, whoops, wrong guy, this one, and we take a quick look, as you can see, it is producing some undead logs, which is super good. because that is what we're going to be using to turn into some blood, which I should probably put this in the system real quick. Let's grab a bucket. We'll do this. Right click, and then looks like I need to set up another drawer. So if I put drawer, we're going to need a fluid drawer. Do this. And the way I'm making them is by using concrete. So we do one black, one white, just like that. We got our guy done. Shift click. Come over here, grab our configuration tool. Make sure to give it the blood, then lock it. As you can see, the little lock appears. And then we just need to connect it just like that. This guy is now part of our system, so we can store blood directly in there. So the way we are going to be making blood is by using the squeezer to squeeze the logs. However, I don't know if I went over this with you guys, but we're going to be needing to use this setup again just because if we take a quick look actually and click on the mechanical squeezer, we're going to need quite a bit of these mineral chunks and whatnot to be able to make these batteries. So to do this, you're going to need a squeezer. You're going to put a drying basin in the direction of the little indentations, and then using a hopper, when we shift right click, this is going to put these blocks inside. That's going to get squeezed once we jump on it, and then here we're going to be extracting. Do I not have this on? Nope. We're going to extract the finished block. We don't really care where this is going as long as we can get access to it. So just like that, we're almost done getting it all set up. We are going to want to put a redstone timer here so that it can reset the squeezer when it is done, just a demonstration's sake. I jump on it, and then let's keep going. Okay, I'm gonna need to increase this. Let's see, let's put every 3 seconds. So it could give me some time to get this down. There we go. Okay. Maybe we'll put every 5 seconds. That might be a little better. But yeah, as you can see, the liquid got in and then it was automatically taken out. The little cool trick about this is that we can use this little setup over here. Give me a moment. We can use an armor stand to automatically squish this, and I do recommend using at least 2, just because it'll make it a little more efficient. So if we put this guy here, and we do that, and then we do something like that, cool, that's done, and then we mine these guys, boom. As you can see, it automatically squished it and turned it into the liquid, and over time it'll make us quite a few blocks and it'll keep repeating until we're done. So I will be back when we have everything. Alright guys, and I am back. So I did quite a bit of things, so I'll catch you guys up before we continue. So the blood infuser, which we had over there, I brought it over here. This is a little bit ugly, but for right now I'm just doing it for convenience sake. And what I have done is I made the mechanical squeezer, because this will allow you to automatically squeeze things using power instead, and it runs pretty quickly. So this will turn the undead logs into blood, which is then sent into the ME system, which will then get exported into the blood infuser. So a quick little setup of how that looks is mechanical squeezer. On the top I have the export bus, on the side I have import. It is all connected by cables into a main line that is connected to a wireless connector so that it is connected to the system. Inside of these guys I do have a few acceleration cards. Right here in the export bus I do have it set to undead logs, and in the import I did specify blood so that this guy can actually work without taking out the logs. Okay. So that's how that's set up. Over here, I made the promise of tenacity 3, so we did have to go up the tiers. So if you click over here, this stuff is the same. The only difference is when you get the Bowl of Promises, you just had to fill it up with the blood of the next tier. So, like right here, we need at least a tier 1, which if we click on it is just putting this dusted bowl with this guy. So we get that very quickly. And then next step is to get the gold promise, which is putting a gold block and just having this full. And then you do that, and then the tier 3 is basically the same, except it's a higher tier promise again. And then this time we're doing a diamond block with all that blood. And just like that, we are back. So, to craft this guy, we basically had everything. I just needed to craft up some end crystals, which I already did offline. So if we come back over here, we could get this ring and this focus. If we press U on it and click on that, boom. To get these blood orbs, how I said, you do need an empty orb, at least 10,000 blood, and at least the tier 1 of this guy to fill this guy up. So now that we have this is cool because when we right click, this will be able to kill the vengeance spirits. So I don't know if you guys have ever killed a mob and then when you hover over it, it still has like an outline of something still there. Or it's invisible and then in your Jade little notification it says that there is something. Whoops. Collected some of these guys, but yeah, let's come over here, see if there's any mobs real quick. So the spider, let's see if he'll give us a quick look. So we have this stuff and we right click. That should be, whoops, shift right click. Now it's enabled. And then if I smack this guy, as you can see, there is a vengeance spirit. This guy, you're just going to hold right click with this focus and it should do a bit of damage to him. And then in a little bit, he should kick the bucket. There we go. And just like that, we managed to get Vengeance Essence. Why do we need this? Well, if you press U and you come over here, as you can see, if you surround it with some crushed dark gems, you will be able to make this materialize Vengeance Essence, which if you press U again, you can charge it with 50,000 millibuckets of blood in a tier 3 thing, and you get this Garmonbozia, which if you press use, and we click over here, this is where it's important, is it is used for the Mace of Destruction. So this mace needs 2 of those, one of these empowered inverted potentias, and 2 dark sticks. These guys are super easy, we don't really care about that. Just these guys are a little hard to get. And then if we click on this guy, as you can see, you can use the environmental accumulator or this guy to charge this with a certain amount of blood, or you could strike it with lightning. So what I did do was I made a couple of charged snowballs, which is just a snowball that has been charged with some power from Power using the energizing orb. But yeah, just like that, we take out this guy, take a look at him. We'll take, I do not know why there's 2 of them. That was a bit weird. But yeah, let's see. Come on, dude. There we go. Now we have 2 essences, how we wanted, which is perfect. And so, when you get this guy, you gotta charge it by striking it with lightning or the other 2 methods. So when I toss this guy down, I can throw a snowball, and just like that, it's turned into the empowered version, which is perfect. That's exactly what we need. Huh. I do not know why there's just a random cloud attacking us. I don't know. I haven't touched this mod in a while. This might be just a random vengeance spirit. But yeah, back to this guy. I wanted to see if we use, what button was it? Yeah. No. I thought using the Thunderbolt from Iron Spells would work, but apparently not. So if I toss this guy down, wonder if I could charge them both at the same time. Throw it, boom. yeah, so you could charge multiple in one go. So if you're curious about that, that's pretty cool. So just like that, we'll head back to the terminal or this area, and then we'll put it over here, or put these guys. Oh, I forget. We gotta get some gem dust first, surround it, then we can put it in here. Can we do 2 at a time? We can. Cool. Speed this guy up quite a bit. And just like that, this will get charged. And once we have 2 of them, you could come over here and craft this guy. First, we gotta make these dark sticks. Boom. 1, 2, 1, 2. One of these guys like that. And just like that, we were able to get the Mace of Destruction. So this is one of the 4, maybe 5 different items used from EvilCraft in the All-in-One Star. One of them being this focus, which it is not hard to craft at all. After all, if you look at the recipe, it's very easy. The only hard part is making sure that you have maybe glass, or in my case glass. I find out that I use glass so much, so frequently, and I just run out. It's insane. It drives me crazy. Every time I need to craft something, I just don't have it. So yeah, that's like the rare resource for me, which it isn't even rare, but yeah. As long as you have blood, you can make these guys very simply. And then if you have the time one, you could speed that up. If not, you could always make these promise of velocities. After all, each one you add does double the speed. And if you look at this, you do have 3 empty slots to upgrade it. So if you throw 3 of those guys, this guy should run pretty smooth. But yeah, just like that, you could craft this guy super easy. The Mace of Destruction, a little bit of work that you gotta put in. I don't think there's a good way of automating it, or maybe there is, but I'm not gonna go that in depth. I don't mind putting a little bit of time to get this guy. As you saw, it's not too crazy hard to make. Besides those 2 guys, if you check the All-in-One Star, I do know that we do use the evil lightning bombs, or TNT. I think it's over here. Nope. Over here. Yeah. This guy, I already went over how we could do that. And then if we come over here, nope. Which one was it? Maybe the Philosopher's Seal? Yes. The only other thing besides those guys that we mentioned is this dark tank, which is full of Eclipse Ember Fuel, which we'll go over in another episode. But for right now, all we have to do is charge this guy up, which we can do pretty easily by just right-clicking on this. I thought throwing it in would fill it, but doesn't really matter. Right-click, and just like that, boom, you have this full. This thing's pretty cool. It's like it attacks in front of you or the area around you. So you can change the power level by shift right-clicking, and you could get up to power level 4, which creates some pretty good damage. I'm pretty sure it one-shots every mob. I'm not sure about Enderman, just because they do have a little bit of health, but everything else can be one-shot when this is at tier 4 and charged up. Not to mention, it will destroy the blocks around you. So if you are not in a protected area, like how I am, it'll destroy the area around you. Just a little FYI, if you do want to test out its destruction damage. But yeah, just like that, we were able to get 2 more things done and out of the way. The dark tank shouldn't be an issue. If you take a quick look at its recipe, it's just iron, glass, and some gems. Super simple. If we take a quick look at the Eclipse Fuel, pretty sure it's this one. So there's unrefined and the normal. So if we come over here to the goo, looks like we got to use the Shadow Pulse goo with some unrefined Eclipse Ember Fuel to make the Ember Fuel. If we click on this guy and come over here, it looks like we're just tossing in some ingredients. So Eclipse Ember tossed into the Void Flame. Void Flame. Ah, it has its own whole setup. So I'll just go over that in a different video, just so I don't drag this one on too long. It's already quite long, if I say so myself. But yeah, pretty cool stuff from this mod. If you're into being a necromancer, this is the necromancer staff. Just use a skull or head of any type, some gems, that little charge Impotia, or Potentia. I don't know why I said Impotia. I saw the IN and then Potentia and just combine the two. But yeah, if you look at the spike, that's also very easy. Dark stick, super easy to make this staff. Summon some zombies, have them fight for you, have them do your bidding. Pretty cool. And yeah, it looks like this is another weapon. I don't know. Little tip is, if you are using this as a weapon and you are running out of blood, you could always make a dark tank, fill that guy up with blood, set it to supply, auto supply, and so when you are using this guy to fight, it'll automatically get refilled through the tank. Those tanks are pretty cool. You can keep expanding their capacity by putting a dark tank with another one, and that'll make it a 32,000. And then if you add another one, it will keep increasing it. I'm not sure if they have a limit or whatnot, but it is pretty cool. But yeah, let's go back upstairs and we will wrap up the episode. And so, just like that, we are going to wrap up the episode here, just because we managed to get another thing out of the way, and we could come watch Rex have some fun swimming around in his nice pond. We might throw in a fish or two at the beginning of the next episode to make sure he is all fed. Of course, it turns into an item and we pick it up, but that is us just feeding the boy. But yeah, looks like he is nice and content with his pond. We do have that villager over there in the coop. If you guys can think of a good name for him, leave it down in the comments. The best name will be the winner and will be awarded to that guy. And I'll put your username up somewhere along the castle wall, and when the time comes, I'll make a nice little chamber to actually put your guys' name up there. But yeah, in between this episode and the next, I do plan on adding a little Ars Nouveau source farm, just because right now I barely set one back up and I'm collecting source. But yeah, that was the main reason why a lot of my Ars essences stopped going, and we are going to need quite a lot of them for the unobtainium, or the alloys basically. So yeah, I'm going to work on that, probably get started building the mage tower, and then next episode we will probably go into the Twilight Dimension and figure out how we could get the snow trophy for the next item for the Altamont Star. Besides that, I'm not sure what else I'm going to do for the next episode. So, just like that, guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you guys have any advice, suggestions, and or questions, make sure to leave them down in the comments. I do try to check the comments, or I check notifications almost every day to almost every other day. So I will do my best to get to your guys' inquiries and respond as soon as possible. If you guys do have questions about certain little things, make sure to ask it down below. Myself and or somebody else might be able to see it and will answer the question for you. But yeah, don't be ashamed to ask. I know All the Mods 10 can be pretty overwhelming with the sheer amount of content that is available for you to learn and figure out to actually beat the mod pack. But one thing that I do want to mention is make sure to have some fun if you are playing it. Don't just make it, oh, let me beat it and then move on. There is a ton of different things available in this mod pack to figure out and learn, like the Oritech stuff. I've never touched it. It's brand new and I have a pretty good understanding of it and can do a lot of cool things with it. It is super cool to be able to figure out new things and ways to make things work. So be open to exploring, learn something new, have some fun with it, create a crazy build. Just like me, I'm not really a huge builder just because I've never really played a world that long to where I've thought I need to make a build. I'm usually, oh, let me beat it and move on, but it is relatively fun to actually go in and dive into the craziness. This is what I've done so far. I'm enjoying it, so I hope you guys are enjoying the series, and if you guys are playing as well, you guys are having fun on your own world. So with that, guys, thank you guys for watching, and until next time, peace.